Well, that's an intro, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to the Paranormal Portal. It's a Saturday show, ladies and gentlemen. Saturday. And you're still with me. I appreciate that a whole bunch. Thank you so much for spending part of your hard-earned weekends right here with me. Team the Mountain Chat in all caps. It's easier for me to see. Yes, absolutely. Thank you, Gypsy, for putting that over on Twitch. I appreciate it. Our Twitch audience is much newer and much more formative, of course, but there are people stopping in over there, so it's great to see you guys, and thank you so much for helping to support the show. Hope you guys like what you get. I'm not always sure what you're getting, because I'm not always sure what I'm going to be saying next. In fact, I'm never sure. It's all coming right from the hip, so you're getting it fresh from the oven, fresh from the factory, as it were. But good to see you guys. Thank you so much for being here. As always, we are cruising away into the night on the Paranormal Portal, and we got a lot to get to. Of course, we're going to get to the news pretty quick, and then we're going to get to the Discord question of the week. Special thanks to Chucky Danger. I don't know if Chucky's in here yet, but he'll be along. Don't forget to like. You're absolutely right, Kirsten. Kirsten, I love those pictures, by the way. That looks like a beautiful place. Fantastic. I'm really happy for you guys. That's really cool. I think I better come and check out one of those barbecues. I'm just telling you, you're killing my diet. I just want you to know that. But it looked lovely. Looked absolutely good. So anyway, aggravated. There you go, aggravated. Whatever you got to do, man. Just insane. Paranormal Portal, we will just have to deal with whatever we get from you, Brent. Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't know. I hope that's okay. I really don't script these shows. I don't plan them out. I don't plan out what I'm going to say or how I'm going to say it. I just say things. Sometimes I wish I could take them back. Just things come out of my mouth. It's like, oh, that sounded stupid. But, that's the way it works with live entertainment. And there's certainly no scripting this. I don't have a teleprompter or anything. It's just me thinking of things and spitting them out. And oftentimes you guys get to deal with that. So keep it real. Absolutely, John. I'm trying to keep it real. Good to see you guys, though. Thanks for everybody coming in. It's always an incredible pleasure. And I know I say this often, but it still rattles me in a really good way. Hello, Marstall. Good to see you. When I start the shows and just see these all of you wonderful people popping in, these friends, names popping up, and all your greetings to each other and to me, and it's like, wow, I don't know how this happened, but I'm so grateful that it did. I used my inhaler before the show, so it loosened everything up. Oh, hello, Karen, and hello to Neil. Hope you guys are doing good. Hello to other Neil that's in here as well. I saw the other Neil S is in here. Good to see you. We love the content that comes out of your mouth. Wait, that sounded weird. Verbal content, I think, is where you're going with that. I don't have any other content coming out of my mouth that I know of. I unfortunately have a tendency to put too much content in my mouth, but not who on the shirt? The God Index did yesterday. The God Index won it here on YouTube, and I still haven't heard from you, God Index. If you happen to be out there, just email me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com, and we'll make arrangements to get you your shirt. You got to let me know your shirt size and where to send it. So that's how it went. Excuse me. Sorry, just got to clear the pipes because that's where the sound comes out. But good to see everybody. And before I go any further, again, I want to endorse this. This is coming up this very next weekend. So next weekend, there will be no show on Friday or Saturday. Just so you know, I'll probably do some impromptu live streams from the event as we're over there in Kalispell. But what I'm speaking of course, is this. It's the Kalispell Bigfoot Town Hall. It's next weekend, June 8th in Kalispell, Montana. So if you can be there, I'd love to see you. It's the first ever Kalispell Bigfoot Town Hall. It's an inaugural event. It's a free event. There is no entry charge at all. So if you're in the neighborhood or can be in the neighborhood, it'd be great to see you guys over there. Head over to Kalispell, Montana. It's right at the Red Lion Hotel in Kalispell. So the accommodations are right there. You can't beat the commute from your room to the event. It's just there. It's right there. So I'd love to see you guys there. It's an awesome opportunity. I love the opportunity to meet some of you guys. I've seen your names, some of you for years in chat, and we've, joked back and forth. We've talked, you've typed, I've talked, and it's really neat to put names to faces and faces to names and to get a chance to just say thank you in person. Your involvement in this show means everything to me. This is me living my best life. This is me living my dream. And you guys are a part of that. You are manifesting my dream with me. And I can't thank you enough because, there's a lot of YouTube channels and it's double tough. There's a lot of other channels out there on Rumble and Twitch as well. And it's hard to get noticed. It's hard to get anybody to pay attention when there are literally hundreds of thousands or millions of other channels that people can pick from. But you guys found this and you made it yours as well. And so you are, helping me to form my dream. And that means the world to me, not to mention all the love and support and encouragement and kind words and stuff. So it's just really neat to have that opportunity. We'd love to be there, but have lots going on with the house. We have the foundation now. We have the foundation now and still eating on septic and electric and water and such, and the house itself, of course. Yeah, houses are a lot of work. There's no doubt, and it's a long haul for many of you, and so don't worry. I mean, I'm not asking you to sell your kidney to come, but if you can be there, it'd just be wonderful. You can meet the hosts and creators of Bigfoot Today show, and that is Stephen Major and Mitch Johnson, as well as meet Don and I. Don and I are going to be over there. And so love to have the opportunity to say hello, shake your hands, give you a hug, whatever, and sit and have a chat. That'd be wonderful. So if you can be there, be there. That's coming up again, Saturday, June 8th from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Obviously, I'm staying there, so, we'll be there longer than that. I think we're heading back on Sunday. So if you do come into town and we don't get much of a chance to talk at the event, there's a chance we could talk afterwards or whatever, So just an opportunity, just putting it out there. That is one event. The only other event that I know that we're planning to go to this year is the Vernal, Utah Phenomicon, and that'll be in Vernal, Utah in September. So look up phenomicon.net for that one. Don and I will be down there at the booth, and Sheldon, I think, is going to make the journey as well. So it should be really fantastic and wonderful, and hopefully you can make that one. That's a 4-day event, though. There's a lot going on there, and if you go to phenomicon.net, you can see the list of speakers and all the presentations that'll be going on, and some incredible names. So that's going on in September, but this is going on next weekend. So if you could be there, be there. Love to have you. Love to meet you. And again, Kalispell Bigfoot Town Hall. And that's the first ever one. So if you need more information or want to ask any questions, go to, let me go down. There's me, there's Don. Go down to the bottom of this. You'll see www.exnorthwest.com is the website where you can find more information, or you can call 509-593-3234, and that's Extreme Expeditions Northwest LLC, and they are kind of championing the event as Bigfoot Today is under the umbrella of Extreme Expeditions Northwest. So hope to see you guys. So we'll check for you there. But again, there'll be no live shows next weekend on Friday and Saturday. There may be live streams, but not any scheduled live shows. So if you don't have notifications, turn them on, because they're a lot of fun. I'll walk you around and show you what's going on, and hopefully you'll enjoy at least that. It's not going to be like a 2-hour live stream or anything, but it'll be, maybe a half hour, 40 minutes, whatever I can think to say and show you, then I will. So, that's coming up this next weekend. It's coming up fast. I'm going to be doing a presentation there. Can you believe that? Somebody actually wants to hear what I got to say other than you guys. Thank God, huh? All right. So that'll be next weekend. And really excited for that. Special thanks to Extreme Expeditions Northwest LLC for making us a part of the event. We're really excited to be a part of it. So anyway, let's what's that? Is the Ghost Radar on? No, I meant to do that. I like turning it on after the stream starts. No, it was an oversight. It's June 1st. How about that, folks? June 1, 2024. Okay. The Ghost Radar is on, which is just in time for the news, because the Ghost Radar is kind of our version of the Doppler radar dealing with the paranormal. So that is live as we speak. So it's running. As you can see, there's these bars. They show you the flat line or the median normal. If you see spikes and jumps on here, that means something's going on, according to the magnetometer built into the wireless communication device, because it can detect EM anomalies, believe it or not. I said this a while ago, but I find this interesting. There has been studies and successful implementations of being able to access Wi-Fi devices, like routers in people's houses, and not only read the layout of the house by the return signals, but map out where people are in there. And that's like, oh my God, that is so scary. So that's other capabilities that your Wi-Fi devices have available to them that could possibly be exploited, but they could be good. They could be life-saving opportunities as well. I'm not saying it's all nefarious, but it is interesting that these devices can serve those purposes as a kind of sonar of sorts. And so magnetometers can detect EM fluctuations in the space around. And when you look at the Ghost Radar, when you look at this circular area here, I'm circling it with my mouse. It's very small on the lower right of your screen. But this is actually like a 3D space, and it detects up to 25 yards. So a lot of this is actually outside of the room, but if you see it close to the center, that's right in here in the studio with me. So there was 3 popped off last night, just 3 huge, like, it does that hissing thing. So anyway, but I guess we're going to start rolling with the Brent the Man Thomas. Thank you, David. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Paranormal Portal. Any plans to do the weekend ghost box session again like you used to? I'm going to do that on extra nights. I don't think I'll have time leading up to this conference. I'm going to do it about once a month is my plan. And I guess we'll start in June, because that just, makes the most sense with time. And I got so much to do before this conference. And then I got a bunch of other things that I'm not doing because of the conference coming up that I'm going to have to get to when I get back. But sometime in the 2nd or 3rd week of June, we'll probably start cracking that open and doing a Thursday investigation night live right here in the studio again. If you guys want to check that out, I will be announcing it on social media. So keep your eye on social media, or possibly if I can figure out how to, I'll announce it on the website at paranormalportal.net. But follow me on Facebook, Brent Thomas, or Paranormal Portal Radio, or Paranormal Portal Fans. And those are 3 Facebook pages where you can get the information as well when I'm going to do it. So yes, I am going to do that. And, just keep your eyes out for it. I love you too, David. Bro him. It sounds like a Nordic thing. I'm your bro him. All right. Demand Thomas. I don't know about Demand. Actually, it's Mitch Demand from Bigfoot Today. But anyway, let's get to the news and find out just what I've curated for your enjoyment tonight. The object of the Paranormal Portal news is to cover interesting, bizarre, weird, strange, sometimes paranormal things, sometimes just technological, exciting things. I don't know. If it tickles my fancy, I pull it up. So, I hope you guys enjoy it. Maybe you'll walk away learning something you didn't know. Maybe you don't care. Either way, it'll only take a little while. So just buckle up, because it's time, ladies and gentlemen, for me to news you up. It's time for the news. Got another joke for you guys tonight. Thank you, Maggie, for this. Here you go. Fresh from the mind of Maggie M10. How do aliens keep their pants up? They use an asteroid belt. They're so lame. I love it. They're just so dry. It's so funny. Anyway, I humor myself. Thank you, Maggie, for that. I've got another one for the next show. The asteroid belt, Kirsten. The asteroid belt. Cinch it up. Arr, arr, arr. He says, yuck, yuck, says aggravated. You got to admit, those are cute. They're cute and they're family friendly. And that's, by God, what we aim for here on the show, because we're all about family friendly here on the portal. Not always, but sometimes. We try to be family friendly. I know that there's all age groups, and sometimes my own minion likes to watch up in his gaming room. So, yeah, I don't want to get it all weird and disturbing. So, all right, welcome to the news desk. This is the Paranormal Portal news, and as I said, we cover all the strange and unusual that I can find, and just sometimes interesting. So, we utilize a lot of sites throughout the course of the show, and I just ask that you help me support them. All I can do is endorse them. All I can do is say, hey guys, these are great sites. You should check them out. But it's kind of incumbent upon all of us to go check out these sites, to give them traffic, which equals revenue for the site owners and the people that are paying for the hosting and creating all this amazing content. So please visit these sites, check them out, and endorse what they're doing, because it's not a cheap endeavor. I do know that. So anyway, let's get, hope it fades soon. Allergic to weed. It's a problem. Oh no, that's too bad. I don't know what that allergy is like. Oh dang, sorry to hear that, Chucky. Chucky, I hope you're okay. What's going on? What's going on with Chucky? Has he got a headache or something? Don't need summer colds. I'm fighting a migraine. Oh yeah, Chucky, you get those migraines. You know why? Because you think too much. Your mind is always going. You got this crazy mind going on, and it's wonderful. You have this brilliant mind, I should say. Not crazy, but yeah, you're just always deep thinking. Yeah, Barbara, I hope your knee feels better. I guess this is let's take a moment and just wish everybody health and well-being, because of course we love each other here, and we don't want anybody to be suffering. So send each other love and support. Okay, love moment over. Let's get to the news. Sounds like a retirement home lunchroom. I just had a procedure. Well, people don't have surgeries, they have procedures. I haven't gotten that old yet. I'm getting there, but not yet. I don't know how that works, but I know I've had relatives that'll tell you everything wrong with them for as long as you'll listen. And I've had strangers tell me everything wrong with them as long as I'll listen too. And, I have compassion for everybody. It sucks to be in pain or miserable or uncomfortable. And it's nice to get a compassionate ear. So I try to provide that. I mean, we all got our pain. The grass pollen count, out of Poland is off the chart, and I'm totally congested. Oh, no. I'm sorry to hear that, Neil. It's been pretty nuts over here, too. I've been sneezing and, get the weepy eyes cooking and everything. And, I don't know. I can't take antihistamines because they knock me out. But anyway, that's not really news. Let's get to the news because that's what I promised you. And by God, I'm a man of my word. And our first article tonight comes from unexplained-mysteries.com. And this comes from the UFO phenomena files of unexplained-mysteries.com. This is a good one. I don't know. I didn't hear about this except for this article. But it sounds pretty fascinating. And here it is. From unexplained-mysteries.com comes the first article. This is UFO captured on camera over New York during the Blue Angels air show. Wow, there's a lot going on over there. And there it is being highlighted on the screenshot. You can see that arrow pointing right at that thing, the little nugget, whatever it is. It looks, it's obviously smaller than the jet. I don't know who's driving it, Smurfs or if it's just technological. But yeah, that's definitely looks like something that doesn't belong there. An unknown object was spotted in a very brief clip recorded during the Memorial Day weekend activities. The sighting, which was reported in the National UFO Reporting Center, or NUFORCE. Yeah, there's a great site as well, NUFORCE, NUFORC.com or .org. I don't know which one it is, but it's kind of another MUFON in a sense, but MUFON's been at it longer. Occurred during an air show featuring the Blue Angels, the U.S. Navy's famous flight demonstration squadron. The object itself made a brief appearance in footage of a Boeing F/A-18 Super Hornet. From stated location above, looking very high in the sky, approximately 36,500 to 41,000 feet high, the report reads, looking westward from my location, tracking it going north by northwest by eye. Going very fast for a craft that high, no trails seen, vividly tracked it visually for about 9 seconds. Then saw it take, I can get Gator Light, whatever the hell that is, rapid rehydration. It's an ad from Prime. Well, thank you. I don't need rehydration, but thank you. Then saw it take an immediate and distinct 90-degree turn downward to about 18,000 feet, with 2 to maybe 3 seconds distinctly able to follow it visually to that level, when it simply disappeared. And I often wonder if that's when they hit the switch, where it's just like, you can't see them anymore. It's not like they just... Maybe they do just disappear. Like they can just move at such a high rate of speed. It's just like a camera shutter. Boom, they're gone. Or they hit the switch and they're no longer visible in our light spectrum, if you will. And that would correlate to what I saw, which I could only see in infrared. So very interesting. Night vision, as it were. Sadly, the video clip only offers a very fleeting glimpse of the object, and given its alleged speed and maneuverability, it seems unlikely that it was a drone, leaving a big question mark over exactly what it could have been. You can check out the footage for yourself below. What do you think the object was? And this footage is coming courtesy of TMZ. I guess they're still around. Wow. TMZ's been at it for a long time. Let's see what it shows. Again, I'm going to probably mute it here. There we go. It's TMZ.com for more information, folks. You can check it out. There it is. Thank God for that red arrow. Because honestly, you really... Oh, Jesus, that really flies by. It's truly just like... Blub. Wow. That's moving a hell of a lot for just a few frames. Let's look at that again, because you can see even in the slowed down footage, the jet, as fast as it's flying, is very fluid, but whatever this object is shooting through the entire frame size in literally 4 frames. It's boom, 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 and then it's gone. So that is moving fast, whatever the hell that is. So could be a fantastic capture, and nice job, TMZ. It's good to see you guys posting stuff like this. That's fantastic. So there you go. Take from it what you will. There's not a lot to see. But it is interesting. Let's go frame by frame here for a second. I don't know if this will work. Let me see if it will. Oops, I didn't mean to really do that. I meant to go frame by frame. So let's see, let's go backwards and get it back in frame. Because it's like, boom, it's just there and then it's not. There's it is, right on the left margin of the screen. That's one frame. Next frame, it's still there. Now it gets a little lighter. There. The next jump is it's, a third of the way through the screen. And then it's like 4 frames again, probably 1, 2, 3, 4. It kind of went up there though, didn't it? Look at that. It's a little upward motion, just a hair. And then let's go back again. I'm going in reverse. There it is again. So it's like 5 frames and then boom, it jumps. It's almost like I don't know if that would be the interesting part of that is that it's like from here to here. That is 1 frame. And you can see how far the jet is moving versus how far this object traveled. Like it doesn't exist between those points. And you got to wonder if maybe part of their propulsion is maybe they're phasing in and out of our reality so fast, but they can make themselves jump forward in those moments. That is interesting. And then we'll go back the other way. So this is when it enters the frame. Okay, now it's out of the frame. The plane moves just a hair and boom, it's in frame. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, jump. So it's 6 frames stationary and then a 1 frame jump to equal about, I don't know, a third of the screen. So that would almost suggest, yeah, it's just like a spectrum shift, Chucky. Like it's kind of jumping out of a reality and moving forward at unbelievable speeds, and then it's jumping into our reality, out, jumping, and then in, then out, then jumping, and maybe that's how they can move so quickly and not be affected by inertial forces of our reality. I mean, I'm wildly speculating here, but how do you explain that? It's 6 frames and then boom. Then 6 frames, boom. And then 6 frames, boom. So, I don't know. We might be on to something here, huh? I don't know. That's actually kind of revolution. That's why I love these things, is they kind of give us something new. And just breaking it down frame by frame really shows you how this thing is moving, because it's strangely not moving here, but once it jumps, whoops, that's out of screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, that's a huge space. And look at how far the plane moved. It's not even probably about a fifth of the length of the plane moved, going several hundred miles per hour. I don't know exactly what speed they're cruising at here with the plane, but it's pretty clear that this thing is making a hell of a lot more space. I don't know. I think this is cool. Very cool. There's an interesting UFO sighting from Skinwalker Ranch where they said it's 2D, so when it turns sideways, it's as thin as paper. Yeah, I don't know. That's quite a speculation. How do you know? I don't know. Unless it's something like this, where maybe it's almost 2D just because it's only barely in our reality, and then it jumps back out in order to traverse another distance, and then in, then out. I don't know. That's really cool. Again, speculation, but you heard it here. This is not something I've read somewhere. It's just me looking at this, trying to understand how it's essentially still for 6 frames. And then in the space of 1 frame, which generally speaking, when you're filming something, is about 30 frames per second. So about a 30th of a second, it traverses a third of the screen, which this distance, I don't know how far this distance would be in the visible sky or how far away it is, but that's crazy. That is really pretty crazy. Wow. There you go. What did Batman say? Batman said something up here. I got to find it. What'd you say, Batman? I missed it. Folding local space. Yeah. I mean, literally, it could be doing that, and it could be doing that in a quantum measure, or it could be the whole warp bubble thing, that it's literally, I mean, that's really something. I don't know. and honest to God, I actually have some more complicated theories regarding folding space-time, why they can make high G turns is, for them, it isn't high, right? Because they would be in some form of warp bubble, so they would be in their own physics, not in the physics around them. They would be bubbled into their own physics, which would mean inertia, gravity, all of that stuff would be isolated. So for them, it'd be like you sitting in your chair watching TV. But the world around that bubble would be, interacting in the normal way with the physics and the forces around it. So yeah, that's pretty intense. Very intense. Gotta hear it, Batman. Absolutely. Yeah, feel free to flesh it out if you want, Batman, in the chat. I think you're right. I think whatever we're observing here is definitely would suggest that this thing is doing some pretty crazy stuff. And again, the plane's moving at about a fifth of its length in that space, but this object is moving, I don't know, about... I mean, if it was on the exact same plane as the aircraft, that's got to be about 5 lengths of that plane in literally 1/30th of a second. And probably quicker than that, but this is just as much as the camera can record. And then once there, 6 frames, not really moving, and then boom again. There was one frame here where it seemed to shift a little. There, kind of goes up and down. If you can see that, I don't know, but it's literally jumps vertically maybe a quarter of the size of the craft itself. And then next thing you know, boom, it's there. So interesting take. I'm really excited by this, actually, just to see that in what appears to be real time. It's obviously the point is it's not moving. It's not moving in these 6 frames much, if at all, just a little, just that little shift there, but boom, moving that distance and then not moving for 6 whole frames. And so that is not a continual motion. It is a spotty, jumpy motion, like hopscotching or skipping a rock. And when the rock hits the water is when we get to see it, but between that, you don't see it at all, and it's almost instantaneous between skips. So that is fascinating. Huh. Well, there you go. We learned it here tonight together, and, you guys are pretty fantastic. I think we're on the same page, folks. We just are witnessing something pretty incredible. I've never seen it broken down like that, but that to me is kind of revolutionary, because why would it sit still for 6 frames and then jump, and then sit still for 6 frames and then jump? That's not a smooth trajectory. That's a boom, 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 boom. That's, I don't know. That's incredible. Revolutionary. Sometimes we jump into some revolutionary stuff here on the show. So that was the first article, and it was a bigger Lulu than I even thought. I just thought we were going to see some UFO flying through a frame, but when you see it like that, you're observing something going on that's really defying physics. So, wonder where in New York. I don't know, wherever the Blue Angels flew. Did it say? Was it New York City? U.S. Navy's famous flight demonstration squad during Memorial Day weekend activities, probably in New York City, I would imagine, or in that surrounding area, wherever the Blue Angels flew on Memorial Day. So that would be where this took place. Very interesting stuff, though. Very cool. All right. New York City, get a rope. All right. That old Pace Bacanti commercial. All right, let's get to the next one, because we ended up taking a lot more time on that article than I thought we were going to. All right, the next one up is an interesting one. This is from Modern Mysteries. I'm not sure of the context of this very much, to be honest with you. The snapping plastic. Oh, I was using a tumbler for a few shows, but I missed that sound. And I know a lot of our listeners do too. Because I'm obnoxious as hell sometimes. All right. Could a mysterious radio signal UVB-76 be a dead hand signal? I don't know what the hell this means, but I thought it was interesting, so let's check it out. For years, a radio station broadcasting continuously out of Russia has managed to defy explanation. The shortwave radio station, which is known as UVB-76, but also sometimes the Buzzer, has been broadcasting a signal from somewhere within Russia for several decades. Its indeterminate purpose, coupled with strange and disjointed nature of its broadcast, has earned it something of a reputation among radio enthusiasts around the world. Ardent listeners have managed to pick up all manner of strange sounds from the station, ranging from hums and buzzes to clips of cartoon characters, disjointed sentences, numbers being recited by a synthetic voice, and other seemingly random words, phrases, and sounds. This has led to a great deal of debate over exactly what these broadcasts mean, and whether there is some overarching purpose to UVB-76 that nobody's been able to decipher. Some subscribe to the idea that it is some sort of dead hand signal. I don't even know what that means, but I'm sure they're going to tell you. What this means, thank you guys, is that when you can still hear it, everything is fine. But if it stops, and it can signal that Russia has been attacked by nuclear weapons and that a reciprocal attack is forthcoming. That said, the station has been known to stop for brief periods without anything happening. Thank God. Could you imagine if you were like, yeah, this is a dead end station. Oh God, they stopped broadcasting. Get the kids. We're going downstairs. It has been suggested that UVB-76 is simply broadcasting nonsense for the sole purpose of keeping the channel open and preventing anyone else from using it. Whatever the case, the mystery of the station's true purpose is unlikely to be solved anytime soon. Yeah, but why would you put that much effort into just broadcasting a bunch of nonsense? And I don't know, are the stations that valuable as far as placeholders? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm not being snarky about it. I just don't know. Maybe it is. Maybe it's like, hey, reserving a URL that you love. Maybe it's kind of the same thing. Well, it's got to be active, otherwise they'll cancel it. And so they just got to keep putting something out there. Well, there you go. I don't know, but it's UVB-76. I don't deal with shortwave radios, so I don't know what that means. But it sounds really cool. All right, that's the next one. And we'll do one or two more. That one went pretty quick. Here we go. Here is the next one from unexplained-mysteries.com, ladies and gentlemen. And this one is space and astronomy. How big is this one? No, it's okay. It's small. It's a small article. Some of these I'm never sure. It's like I open them up and it's like, oh, God, I can't read that. All right, from space and astronomy, China's space plane releases another mystery object into orbit. Must be the new Timu satellite. I don't know what they're releasing up there, folks, but could be another balloon. It's expected over your neighborhood anytime soon. China's answer to the X-37B is doing something in Earth's orbit, and nobody's quite sure what it might be. Officially part of China's efforts to develop reusable spaceflight technologies, the space plane known as Shenlong has long remained something of an enigma. In reality, it's likely to perform a similar role as the X-37B, a secretive spaceplane originally developed by NASA before being handed over to the U.S. Department of Defense, which has itself conducted numerous secretive missions into space lasting up to several years at a time. What? Really? Several years at a time? They don't come down? That doesn't make sense. They'd lose bone density. Shenlong launched on its most recent mission back in December 2023, and once again prompting a great deal of speculation over what it's actually doing and what sort of experiments it might be running. Now, according to reports, the secretive vehicle has released a mysterious object first spotted by Harvard astrophysicist, that's a big word, Jonathan McDowell, into Earth's orbit around 372 miles above the surface. This object could be a sub-satellite deployment, or it could be a piece of hardware ejected prior to the end of the mission and deorbit. The space plane's first flight did something similar. That's what they want you to think. Will be interesting to see if the plane maneuvers or lands soon. China has been typically declined to provide specific details about what Shenlong is doing, offering only that on its previous mission it aimed to provide technical support for the peaceful use of space. It's peaceful. Given that the U.S. has been similarly secretive about the activities of the X-37B, however, it is unlikely that China is going to be particularly forthcoming about what Shenlong is up to anytime soon. Well, yeah, I mean, we're not, our guys aren't necessarily saying, well, this is what we're doing. They're obviously up to something terrible. We don't know what our own guys are doing, so I'm not surprised they're not saying, oh, no, that we're not doing that. We're not doing bad stuff. Of course they're not. They're never going to admit they're doing bad stuff. And, that's kind of the intrigue, I guess, of it. So there you go. Another quick article, but that's they're dumping something. They could be just emptying the septic up there. It's like, hey, somebody blow the turd capsule, will ya? We got to re-enter. I don't know if there's a turd capsule. It just sounded really funny in my head, which is probably disturbing in and of itself. Anyway, that's the news. I got one more story coming up, and this one's, I don't know what the hell they're referring to here, but apparently there's a planet known as Vulcan, or identified as Vulcan out there, that pays homage to Star Trek, I guess. But let's take a look at this, because according to, oh God, how big is this? No, it's small too. Good. Okay. According to Space and Astronomy section of unexplained-mysteries.com, Spock's real-life home planet is not what it seems, new study finds. Well, I don't know. I don't know what these studies are doing, but a planet thought to be a real-life equivalent to Spock's homeworld, Vulcan, might not actually exist after all. Nothing to see here. Move along. Situated a mere 16 light years away from the planet which was thought to be twice the size of Earth, was discovered 6 years ago in orbit around a star known as 40 Andrani A. Man, they're such romantic namers. I'm going to ask them to name my next kid. I'm just kidding. I don't expect any new kids. I think that franchise is over. I took the word franchise from the article because I looked at the page and saw franchise. Situated a mere 16 light years away. Okay. Its significance stems from the work of British author James Blish, who in 1968 declared in his book Star Trek II that 40 Eridani A is the star around which the planet Vulcan orbits. Legendary Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry later doubled down on this idea in the 60s when he wrote that the Eridani system would be the ideal place for Spock's homeworld. Sure it would. Why not? Now, though, the mere existence of this real-life planet Vulcan has been called into serious doubt thanks to new data recorded by astronomers at the Kitt Peak National Observatory. Many extrasolar worlds are discovered by looking out for the telltale wobble of the host star, caused by the gravitational tug of the planet as it orbits around it, as was the case with Adriani. Why does it say Eridani now? Yeah, I guess it was Eridiani up here, and now it's Eridani. I don't know what the hell this place is called, this star, but anyway, it's right now it's Eridani A. By taking much more precise measurements than were possible back at the time of its discovery, however, astronomers have been able to show that, in this particular instance, the apparent wobble indicative of a planet is much more likely simply to be the star itself flickering. Oh, well, that's kind of a disappointment. This means that, sadly, the real-life counterpart of Spock's homeworld probably doesn't actually exist. Well, that's unfortunate. But, in all fairness, in the Star Trek universe, it doesn't exist either. It was destroyed, as I recall, in J.J. Abrams' movie. So, yeah, I guess we're just keeping it real up in here. So, there you have it. You got to wonder now, what if the belief that it was there made it there, but then the belief that it was destroyed from the movies made it not there? Ooh, that'll cook your bacon. What if it was like that? That's some weird stuff. But that's what we love here on the show. We love the weird because this is the Paranormal Portal. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up the news. So I hope you're leaving this newscast with some new information, some new ideas, and new possibilities. Anyway, let's get back to the rest of the show. Weird Traveler says, I'd love to see the Northern Lights someday, but if I ever saw them here, I'd poop my pants. Well, I mean, they're possible anywhere, aren't they? I mean, it doesn't have to be in the Arctic regions to generate them. It's just wherever those charged particles are hitting the upper atmosphere. And if it's night, you're going to see them. So I don't know if it's something to be worried about, but, it certainly would be interesting. I mean, they're certainly most common in the northern hemisphere. But anyway, there you have it. Weird Traveler, my girlfriend saw them in Central Florida and didn't wake me. Oh, wow. Oh, bummer. Yeah, absolutely. Ironic that logic is used to prove Vulcan doesn't exist. That's a good point. That is a good point, being that it's Vulcan. Now I'm craving bacon. Well, there you go, David. Go whip some up. Excellente. Newsy news, Maggie. All right, newsy news. Thanks for the joke again, Maggie. That was really cute. I got one more of your jokes to use. One more, I think, or two. Maybe there's two. I think you sent me 3. But anyway, thank you, because they've been a lot of fun. And any of you, if you come up with more news jokes, send them my way. I'd like to get those. Maggie sent them through Discord. You can certainly do the same, or just email them to me at paranormalportalradio@gmail.com. And we'll get you there. Jaron Daniels popped in. Hey, all sick and out of commission, but popping on anyway. Well, God bless you, sir. Way to take one for the team. Jaron is, of course, one part of the team of Supernatural Station. He and his twin brother, Roman. Wonderful guys, and we'll see them in Vernal, Utah. And you could meet them in Vernal, Utah as well. They're going to be there. Hanging out and keeping us company, I hope. So, bacon is the cure. It might be the cure, that's true. Good point, Chucky. Jem can wait. So I practiced the live long and prosper hand gesture as a kid for no reason. Yeah, I know. Well, it also worked for Mork and Mindy, right? Nano. What the hell was his planet called? I can't even remember. But I think he kind of did the same thing. All right. I'll try it, Chucky. Thanks. Yeah, I tried bacon. Bacon has been known to cure a lot of ills in our world. I'd be terrified if it could mean what it could mean for our planet. Yeah, maybe. I just think it's, largely the northern lights are just this stuff hitting the upper atmosphere, and that's the atmosphere's job, just to block it, but it's beautiful. And I think there's a spiritual element to it too. I'm not trying to be completely logical and clinical about it, but certainly the Inuit and many indigenous tribes find that there's higher meaning to those things, and I think they're right. But I think it can be explained in using mundane physics as well. But one doesn't detract from the other, and it's not. I think that's one of the things. Is like people are like, well, the science says it's because of this. Well, it doesn't mean that there isn't deeper elements to these things, but that may be the way it's manifest. But what does it mean? I'm just saying. I don't think because, we understand the science of things doesn't mean that it detracts from the spirituality of things. Those are two very different things. So anyway, we do hope you're feeling better. I got all sorts of dead jokes. Well, keep them coming, Karen. You got to send them. I'd love to read them on the news. Grumpy Owl says, yeah, I don't myself, but I know someone that does. She lived far north British Columbia. What do you know? I don't know what. Yeah. Does that have to do with the Northern Lights, probably? Sorry, I'm just scanning through the chat trying to catch up because I don't like that I can't see the chat all the time. And I feel like I'm missing a big part of our community when I can't reference it. So I like to go back. Orc! Yes, Batman. Yep, his boss was Orson. That's right. Nano. Howdy, Richie. Who's Richie? Richie R. How you doing, Richie R? Thanks for coming in and checking out the show. I appreciate it. That means the world. All right, I think I'm caught up now on the YouTube chat. I'm going to look at Discord, see what's been going on over there. And I'm pretty caught up there. Okay. Hello, sliding in just in time. Good to see you, Barbara. Thank you. HB Girl to You's over there, and Barbara Mora's over there. I haven't seen Taipan tonight. Hope he's doing okay. You know, they had some serious storms down there. I know you can't read fast, so I'll type slow. Everything helps. If we take the idea of God into account, he would have created the universe using means known to science, but he could have applied a spiritual meaning to those natural processes. Absolutely. Absolutely. I think that spirituality is not incumbent upon science, nor is science incumbent. But science is incumbent upon spirituality. I think this double slit experiment kind of showed that, you know, the presence of people and people observing things does change the nature of the behavior of fundamental elements. And I think that that's a very powerful statement, because it really does mean, whether we realize it or not, we are in the driver's seat, you know, and that's a good thing. How is Deb Varner? Deb is doing pretty good. I don't know that she's out of the hospital yet, but I think she is. She was, last I had heard, and I'm just getting swamped by life, so I haven't had a chance to check back in, or haven't remembered, because, you know, life happens. But, yeah, she was out of intensive care and into a regular hospital room, and I'm sure she's doing wonderful. But yeah, keep sending her your love and your prayers, and hopefully she'll be back on soon. I'm sure she just needs a lot of rest. She's been through a hell of a lot. So, yeah, she went through, in case you aren't familiar, our very own Deborah Varner, Paranormal Portal psychic and dear friend of ours, had dealt with a ruptured appendix. So she had a hell of a run, and thank God she made it through it. But, you know, we're just always sending her our love. Yep. So the double slit experiment makes me think about simulation theory, the idea that our universe is a hologram and our minds are the only real thing. I think that's probably fundamentally true, though. But I don't know that it's a simulation. I mean, sure, a simulation is as a good a thought as any about how to explain what it is we live in. But I just think that we are the architects of our experience, is what that teaches us. And that's empowering, because life and our world would have you believe that we're just these ping pong balls that are just bouncing off of crap all over the place. And, you know, it's too bad for you. You know, you bounced off of that. But I think we are in the driver's seat. We just don't know it. And when you don't know you're driving, it's hard to, you know, steer. So once you can get your head around the fact that you're actually driving, then you can probably manifest and shape your life much more effectively. And it doesn't mean anything's foolproof. This is still a classroom of sorts. But I think if you know you're not only the student, but you're actually a part of the actual lesson, then that's empowering. So anyway, I don't know if that's too ambiguous, but how many years has this show been running? The show, Jess, has been going. The Paranormal Portal has existed since 2016. It's been on YouTube since 2017. It's been a podcast for 5 years now. Just closed on 5 years. So, yeah, what is that? I guess 2018, 2019, maybe late 2018 I started. There's been chunks in there where I had to take breaks. In fact, I'm on a break from the podcast right now. We're going to be a couple weeks. We're going to start season 6 of the podcast. So, yeah, it's been I started the Paranormal Portal in 2016 on Truth Frequency Radio, TFR. TFR Live was the station, and Chris and Cherie really, you know, gave me a platform to start from. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Truth Frequency Radio, TFR, for sure. But God bless them. So that's why we're all here. So that's, in a nutshell, how long we've been around. I've been listening since the beginning. You have been, David? Since 2017? Wow. I don't know why it took so long for us to meet then, you know, and start talking. But that's cool. Thank you, brother, for all the love and support through the years. And several of you have been with me for many years. And I appreciate that. Yeah. Annie, my grandfather's little island way up northwest Sweden on the Gulf. Lots of islands. That sounds beautiful up there. Aggravated. Yeah, I hope she'll be fine too. Weird traveler. Absolutely. So, I guess we should get to the next segment of the show, which is special thanks to our very own Chucky Danger. Chucky's been an amazing help to me by spearheading the question of the week. 7 years of the best community on the site. Thank you. Sheldon's here. Good to see you, buddy. Good to see you, my boy. I'm glad you popped in. Yeah, it's been a while. We've been rolling for a while. I was telling everybody, Sheldon, that you're planning on being in Vernal, Utah with us. So you got to make sure that can happen. I gave you the dates last night. So make sure to schedule around it. And we'll get you here. And we'll do the journey, the three of us. Hey, Mo. It kind of turns into that. We get pretty punchy by the time we finish that 14-hour drive. So, anyway. But good to see you here, my boy. Thanks for coming in. All right, let's get to the question of the week. Again, thanks to Chucky Danger. He has been spearheading this on Discord. If you're not already a member of the Discord, check the show descriptions wherever you're watching the show. You'll find a link to our Discord community. You can join. It's absolutely free. Discord is a little unusual for people that aren't familiar with it, but take the time. I'm going to put it up on screen right now, as a matter of fact, and you can see more. But let's do this first. Thank you, Sheldon, for the link. Appreciate it. You can definitely host with me on Saturdays too if you want to. I do a 10 to 11 hour drive every day. Wow, John, that's some miles, brother. That's a lot of miles. You must love driving. All right, or it's your job, so I can completely understand that. All right, let's get to the Discord question of the week, ladies and gentlemen. And again, this is our Discord community. You're seeing it on the screen over here on the very left. These are the servers, and this is the Paranormal Portal server right here. And when you join, this is what it'll look like for you. You'll be in the General tab, and you'll see this. So, Chewy just came in. Hey, Brett, it's Les. I have an update to this Saga OG Mac elevator. Oh, wow. I'd love to hear the update. Definitely reach out to me, Chewy. Thank you. Or Les, whichever one you prefer to go by. But this is Discord. This is what it looks like when you join. It'll announce to everybody, hey, so-and-so has joined, and everybody will click to say hi and such. But all you have to do to navigate this, and maybe the best place to start is a thread that Sheldon did start when he created this. Sheldon actually created our Discord community. So just click on Discord tutorial right here, and that'll open this whole thread of tutorial videos to kind of show you how to navigate Discord. Because it's not a hard program, it's just kind of confusing because it's not similar to many other programs. It's kind of its own thing. Once you realize how to do things here, it's really quite easy. All you really have to do is look here. When you're in a server, you click on the server. Like here's Hometown Ghost Stories. Wonderful guys. Love these guys dearly. And all of their different conversation threads going on. Here is Yowie Central. There's a few good Spartans. That's a friend of mine's site. There's Cade Moya's Believe podcast, and there's the KBS Kev Baker Show Discord is still functioning, still a community, and so that's special thanks to ZX81V2. God bless you, sir, for keeping that candle burning, because Kev Baker was a dear friend and an icon in our community. So. But just go to the Discord tutorials, watch the videos. It'll show you how. All you have to do is use your mouse wheel between your left and mouse right buttons and look through the discussion threads. There is the Discord tutorials. There's giveaways when I give away shirts. Here's the questions of the week, which we'll get into a second. General, as I said, when you first join, you'll be in the General tab. Episode discussions, those are specific discussions about things we talk about on the show. People can post links with more information, including jack jumper ants, which absolutely terrify me because they jump and they look frightening as hell. That's Australia for you. Everything can eat you there. There's Bigfoot, there's Dogman, there's ghosts, UFOs, extraterrestrial encounters, cryptids, music, which is a cool thread where people post a lot of their eclectic music tastes, which I find absolutely fun and fascinating. Men at Work. Who can it be now? It's a great song. I haven't heard that for years. Strange Phenomena, Paranormal Library, people recommending books and movies in the next one, and the Paranormal Art Gallery. This is a new one. People, this is Rachel's. She sent me this one, I think. I have the original, I think, of that. And, where people are posting their artworks, which is really cool. So if you are any kind of artist, whether it's VR or AI art or, more traditional arts, feel free to post images of what you do. There's also a marketplace up here, which is really cool. Whereas this is a whole section up here. It says Portal Marketplace. There's apparel. Gives you a link to order a shirt of your own of the Paranormal Portal if you choose, or hat or mug or stickers, whatever. Then there's the Crystals and Jewelry, which is Love Rocks Company, which is David Barnes' lady. She's an incredibly talented person posting stuff. This is K-Love. She bought a couple of things from her and posted pictures of that. And there's so many people. Mel's Shepherdess makes these beautiful rosaries. And then there's miscellaneous. If you need another thread, if you create something and you feel like you need a specific thread for it, let Sheldon or I know, and we can get that done for you. We're certainly happy to expand this as we go. So anyway, just things to think about. There's some of Barbara's work that Chucky got, and it's beautiful stuff. Barbara does a lot of ceramics and pottery, and she's very, very talented. So we've got a lot of amazingly talented people in this group. So this is Discord. But what we're concerned about right now is the questions of the week. And by God, it's time to ask those questions. So this is Chucky Danger's newest question. Thank you, Chucky, again. You're my hero. For sure, David. And give her my best. And thank you for the necklaces. Those were really cool. Both of them that you've sent me. But last time you sent me two. And I gave one to the minion because he was like, I wish somebody'd send me something. I'm like, well, here, have a necklace. They're beautiful. All right. Question of the week from Chucky Danger. Do you think the use of a spirit box gives an accurate way of communicating with spirits? Now, spirit boxes, I think most of us know, but if you don't know, those are the radios that sweep through channels rapidly, and oftentimes they won't even have an antenna, so you're getting just various white noises. And sometimes these voices come through. There's debate, pretty prolific debate about the effectiveness of spirit box. The SB7 is one common example where people are modifying these digital radios to sweep through channels. And sometimes, though, you get these really incredible things spitting out of them. Whole sentences that occur over huge sweeps of the dial that are in the same voice, which doesn't seem logical if it's sweeping through radio signals. How is the same voice on so many different radio stations or digital settings? Which it wouldn't be, but that does seem to be possible evidence. So let's see what people said. Neil Alberting came in first. That's Karen's hubby. Says, why not? Good point. Why not? I think spirits can communicate through, many different means. And sometimes it'll be through things. Sometimes it'll be through symbols. Sometimes it'll be through your TV or maybe a radio song coming on or something. There's many ways spirits might talk to us and relay the message that they're with us. And it can be many manifestations. So you're right, Neil. Why not? Barbara Moore comes in next and says, I think the spirit box is a very useful tool. I think a lot of other factors need to come into play when investigating. A spirit from the 1800s may not know modern speech, and in turn won't make sense to them. There's a break in communication, so I think using old language terms may help with better communication between us and the spirit world. I got two thinking of that, and I don't disagree with you. I think that's a good take, that I think you can maybe appeal to those spirits by using terms and maybe idioms and other colloquialisms that would be familiar to them from their time. But I think that also, when you think about what speech is a vibration we make that is inspired by the energy of our thoughts. So the question is, since spirits don't have a physical ear, they may be able to sense our sound and be able to respond to the fact that it's our sound. But it may also be just telepathic, that they are, in fact, maybe hearing what we're thinking before we say it or as we say it. So maybe they're actually not physically hearing words. But I think words also have vibration, and energy follows intention. So as you call out to something or someone or some, presence, they could very well respond. So that's, interesting, but great talk. Great idea, Barbara. That's true. I think that it can, using terms of familiarity and objects of familiarity, may be really powerful triggers to inspire communication. So those can be very powerful. ZX81V2 comes in next and says, if they are real devices, there should be control questions that have simple yes or no answers. I've never seen a ghost hunter do this. Questions, have to have a direct answer to. I would love to mess with one, but I don't own a mobile by choice or afford to buy one. In videos I've seen in the past that seem to have direct answers to ask questions, no one follows them up. They just continue blatantly ignoring the thing. And that is the reason they are there in the first place, to find the paranormal. Yeah, that's true. I would say, in defense of some of what you're watching, is that a lot of times investigations take place over many hours. And there's tons of footage. So a lot of times what you're seeing is the abbreviated versions where a lot of the dead spaces are cut out. And, and obviously, it's not compelling to watch somebody sit there and you're hearing, what's your favorite color? Then there's, that's going to drone on forever, because they may or may not answer, but I appreciate what you're saying. So the point is that a lot of what we watch is very edited for content, for length and for content. So they can't give you the whole investigation unless you watch a live investigation. And that's a little different, because then you are watching it as it's happening. And you're right. As someone who's investigated in myself, I do have to tell you, I'm guilty of just falling into the excitement of the moment and kind of forgetting my own train of thought, or what I should be asking, or how would be best to follow up on things that I have asked and gotten responses to, because it's just that excitement of the moment. And so, in all fairness, maybe it's edited, and if not, maybe it's just being in the moment and being excited, and then just kind of, oh, but what about this? You just do this kind of, unbridled energy thing where your mind is just jumping all over the place because there's all the possibilities. So, but I do appreciate what you're saying, and those are really good points. And a control question would be great. Annie Manul comes in next and says, with reference to Barbara's very good answer, a spirit box can be accurate in conveying speech, but is the meaning understood? How would a spirit from before the adverts of the use of electricity understand one? Someone from 1965 would be just fine. And also, what are the energetic limitations of one? Does conveying a message take so much energy that only a word could come out? Or is that a function of the particular brand of the box? Or is it a function of the type of being? What if an angel could communicate through one? I think we would get, pardon the pun, chapter and verse. I think as a spirit box is useful, but its use is so new as to make its utility limited until we better understand it. That's the case with all new technologies. We have to keep using them in order to better understand them. Yeah, you're absolutely right. And I will say, it has been suggested by several people in the ITC community, including some of the very forebearers of this that came up with the idea of using vacuum tubes and white noise and stuff, is that they encourage people, whatever you use, to use it as much as you can, because there does develop, I don't know, maybe it's some energetic thing that develops through the use of something and the repetition of using something. And I'm here to tell you, I've got several different tools for investigating, but each one you kind of have to get a feel for and learn to judge the great triggers and the more questionable ones and what to look for. But the other idea is that by using something, you are also a part of the process, and by you using it and you working with it, then it develops a stronger connection both to the tool and to the communication that may develop as a result. So I don't know if that's true or not, but that's an idea that's out there, and I think it's stands to reason, because again, energy follows intention. The more you use anything, the more energy you're giving it to reach an intention or a conclusion. John T comes in next and says, I think it could if it hits the right frequency, for sure. I really don't know. I'm more into cryptid critters. Yeah, good point, though. That's a good take. Is there certain frequencies where these messages seem to come more readily? And then there's the AM versus the FM versus, any other type of, white noise generators. Where's the best conclusion? I don't know. I don't work enough with it. I will say the one thing that I don't like about spirit boxes is this. Because I think that takes you out of the experience of catching a disembodied voice that may be happening, but it's not real loud, or noticing anything else because you're so tuned in to this one box that's making all this noise that it takes away your other senses, especially hearing. Hearing in investigations is incredibly important because sometimes things come in taps. Sometimes there's other sounds, maybe a sound in another part of the house that you couldn't hear because of. So I don't like that part of it. I do really encourage the use of some kind of noise gate to kind of remove that. A noise gate is, it's used in musical production all the time, and it just basically allows you to dial in a threshold for sound. And if you dialed out that, and if you do then get voices, they might have much more meaning and allow you to decipher it a lot better without all that extraneous noise. So, yeah, it's destroying the credibility of the spirit boxes. He's destroyed a few muscle shirts too through the years. I'm just saying. Wes, good to see you, brother. So, I wasn't prepared for that. There's some things you just can't prepare for, and one of them is Wes showing up. Good to see you, man. Thanks for coming in. All right, so let's move on. Where was I? Neil S. Okay, I don't know. It sounds like a broken car radio stuck on scan to me, and I think people try really hard to find meaning in the sounds. I personally find it irritating. I do too, Neil. I do too, absolutely. But I won't dismiss it totally because anything is possible. The Estes method intrigues me, and I believe some investigators have had success to varying degrees with it. Yeah, it does. I mean, I got to tell you, though, sitting in a haunted location with your eyes blindfolded and wearing headphones, and you can't tell anything going on around you, that's a freaky idea. I mean, I got to give those guys credit. I've never tried it, but you're right. I think it must really open you up to hearing much more clearly without your sight and other things going on. So very cool. Karen Alberding. To be honest, I don't really know. I have mixed feelings on them. Sometimes I think it's working and legitimate, and sometimes it's too random and doesn't make sense. Hearing different voices with answers to the question seems real to me. So seems useful in that sense. To me, it's a mixed bag. It can be useful as long as there's discriminating thinking going on. I think sometimes people jump too easily to everything being paranormal. Don't mean to be on repeat here. No, I think that's a great point. I mean, there's clearly a confirmation bias that people are investigating would have. It's like, sure, you want everything to be paranormal. And maybe you're dismissing some logical thinking just because it seems like it's paranormal and it sounds exciting, and you just jump to the conclusions. And that's not just in the ghost investigating community. That's in a lot of different paranormal communities and a lot of other communities. I mean, it doesn't have to be the supernatural paranormal Fortean worlds, but we certainly see it manifest there a lot, that there's people that just everything's a ghost. Every voice is a spirit. And, and that's fine. But I if that's what their thing is, that's okay. I mean, it's their experience, but it's not, you're right. Critical thinking is important in all of this. And I've always thought that it's best to look at evidence through the eyes of a skeptic. Look at it incredibly skeptically. And if it still stands up to that kind of inquiry, then you may really have something, but you can't dismiss the idea that people are going to look at it skeptically, and they're going to be pretty cruel about it. So You got to be prepared to take them on the chin if you're going to put yourself out there. But you're right. Yeah. There's a lot of people that are willing to jump on everything being something, and it certainly isn't. All right, Cryptic Chaos comes in next. I think it'll work just the same, but I think it depends on the person too. There's people with that gift and others that just don't have it. At the end of the day, you'll get a response, but you won't know exactly what it is responding. They can just lie so you hear what you want to hear. Good point. Absolutely, and I do believe that the people themselves are a part of that equation. It's not just a tool doing something. It's the fact that you have an intention to talk, and if they want to talk to you, they might make that happen. But if they don't want to talk to you, they might ignore the hell out of you. Hey, Justin Good Earth, good to see you. All right, David Zeismer comes in next and says, I think it is a good way to get some answers from the other side and to find out what it's like on the other side. And sometimes you get answers for things you didn't ask. Yeah, I mean, good points. Good points, David. I mean, the whole idea of possibly making contact with a person that is no longer physically incarnate, I think is exciting. It's very intriguing. I do think there's many things out there that were never people, and they're around as well in consciousnesses, and you certainly got to be plenty careful because you don't know what you're reeling in. It's like blind fishing. What's on the hook, you know? So anyway, Rachel comes in next, and I think they do work. How? I don't know. The spirits may exist out of time, and and the huge or limited dictionary of stored words might be floating in the matrix that they can select from and interact with. Yeah, but the spirit boxes uses basically radio stations and static, white noise, to generate sound. So it's not like the Ovilus that has a word generator, much like the Ghost Radar here sometimes spits out a word because it has a word database that apparently can be triggered. But again, that's kind of ambiguous because it's like, how do they know? How do they know how to use that? How do they know what energy makes what word? You know, use your energy and make your words. Which ones? How do they practice? I don't know if there's a learning curve in the spirit world or if there's just knowledge that they can access. I don't know, but those are great points. SoCal Squatcher comes, no idea. I don't mess around with ghosts, spirits, demons, and the otherwise. I'll stick to the cryptids and stay in my lane. Love what y'all are doing here. Oh, thanks, SoCal. I appreciate it. Chewy says, everything is connected. I agree. Absolutely. Everything is connected. So, again, energy follows intention. So, if you intend to make contact, you just might. But you might not. Depends on the day. And Boonabar Sheldon comes in last and says, I would say it's hard to know how accurate it is due to the fact that we don't know for sure how ghosts and spirits interact with the world and technology. Fair point. How difficult it may be to translate what they're doing or trying to portray versus what the spirit box picks up from the energy they're pushing into it. Depending on how it works for them, it's hard to say, but it really could be a great avenue for them to communicate in general. Maybe it's just us trying to learn anything in life. There may be a learning curve for them as well. Yeah, there you go, learning curve, great minds. I'm still a fan of spirit boxes, though, as one avenue for communication. Great takes, everybody. These are great thoughts, and thank you so much for weighing in. I appreciate what you have to say, and those are all wonderful angles and ideas. So well done, everybody. Thank you to those of you who did participate in this. And Chuck, you'll have another question up, I'm sure, for next week. Again, there won't be a next week's show, but the question will be up and it'll give you more time to respond. So please do. And if you're not involved in our Discord, we'd love to have you over there. Just look for the link in the show description. If you don't have a username and such on Discord, create one. You can be whoever you want. It don't matter. There's no authentication on our end for it, so maybe Discord authenticates it more than we do, but I don't see any of that. So you can call yourself Purple Nipple if you want. Don't use that, but you know what I'm saying. I mean, you can just pick different names. So anyway, yeah, I'm an idiot with a mic. What do you want? So anyway, this has been the Discord question of the week, everybody. Thank you to everybody who took the time to respond and be a part of it. I gotta shut that off and do this. There we go. All right. Well, that was the Discord question of the week. Thanks, Chucky.
Yacht.
What does that say? It said yacht. Y-A-C-H-T. Yacht. Anybody got a yacht? Is that for any of you? I don't know what the hell that means. That's what the word database is. Again, it just spits out weirdness. It's like, what the hell's yacht have to do with anything? I don't know, but it's strange. It's just the ghost radar spitting something out. Somebody was interacting with it, maybe, or there's an EM spike somewhere nearby. Interesting. I'll have to look it up. What are you looking up? Purple nipple sounds like a drink. It probably is, Annie. I don't know. I don't drink that much, so I don't know. Central Florida Native Victory Battlefield. Oh, okay. Gotcha. All right. Just looking at the chat quick. What did Wes say? Somebody's laughing out loud at Wes. What did I miss? Got to go back up here. Was it about was it C. Wayne Wilson again? I don't know. I can't scroll up high enough to see what he might have said. Nurples, purple nurple. That could be another one, Maggie. I'm just saying. Oh, I used to hate purple nurples. I never got them, but, just saying. It's not fun, I'm sure. All right. Justin Good Earth was late. Damn it, Justin. How many times do I have to tell you? No, I'm just kidding. All right. What did I missed it? What the hell? Where is it? I'm scrolling up a little more slowly here. What did I miss? Hate to miss something, Weird traveler, blah, blah, blah. Let's see. I'm still going up. I don't know where the hell it is. How am I missing it? Where is it? Maybe I didn't go far enough. Fred Flintstone's here. Hiya, Fred. Sorry, that's my Barney Rubble. The best one I can do. Good to see you, though, Fred. Thanks for coming in. I don't know where it is. Good God, you guys are chatting a lot. How am I missing it? I don't get it. And way to sell me out there, Sheldon, by the way. Yeah, your dad's blind. Thanks, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I got the C. Wayne Wilson one. Was it after that? How in the hell am I missing it? I don't get it. Gonna have to give Wes a different name color. Some of these things stick out. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know how I missed it, but apparently I missed it. I went all the way up to the C. Wayne Wilson thing. All right. Well, I don't got anything. It's not much higher than that Paranormal Portal. Where the hell is it? I'm trying. SoCal. Karen Elberding, blah, blah, blah. I literally don't have it in my chat. Is it above where you put the Discord link, Sheldon? I don't get it. Yeah, it's literally not on my chat thread here. So Wes must be stealth chatting or something. I don't know how this is possible. I missed it, and I can't find it. So anyway, he said I tried purple nipple, but apparently. All right. It's not on my chat, I swear to God. I scrolled through it a couple times. Well, sorry, man. I just thought I was coming up with that, but maybe it's well used. Maybe there's a lot of purple nipples out there. Just trying to help out. Did you block him? No, I didn't block him. No, I mean, Sheldon could see it, so it's got to be there somewhere. All right. God, what am I doing next? What the hell time is it? Holy God, it's 8:28. I guess we're going into the cryptids, folks. It's that time. We've reached that part of the program where we got literally half. Oh, good night, David. Thanks for coming in. No, I didn't block him. We had to okay it as mods. Perhaps it was held back. Oh, maybe. Oh, okay. So it didn't like purple nipple getting typed out. Yeah, that might be why it didn't come up. So I'm using a program that multi-streams this show to several different platforms, as you know. But it also takes the chats from two of those, which is Twitch and YouTube, And it puts them on one thread for me so I can see the chats coming up as they happen. So I suppose if moderation alerts like that might come up, it might not populate. It's still there, just not on Brent's chat, I noticed. If I read... Yeah, it doesn't... Okay, so good. It's not just me. It's not my age or my mental dysfunctions. Yay, some squatches. One says everyone never met one. Well, I'm glad you guys like the Sasquatch. We all love some Sasquatch up here in the portal, so I guess it's time for us to get into them right now. All right, let's do it. We're going to go here. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for the Cryptid Corner. And we're going to start out in a nod to our good friend, Mr. Wes Germer of Sasquatch Chronicles, who is here. Thank you for coming in again, brother. That's really cool. We're going to start the journey on his site, SasquatchChronicles.com. And again, I say it every show, but if you're hearing the podcast, Sasquatch Chronicles, you're only getting part of the story because the blog is incredible. Wes works really hard on this, keeps it very current, and is constantly posting stuff up there that's both interesting and entertaining and everything in between. So check out SasquatchChronicles.com and check out the blog. I specifically love when he posts the listener emails that he gets. These I find are really fascinating. And again, these are people's experiences. These are things that they're seeing. They're seeing this stuff allegedly firsthand. And so it gives us a glimpse into their moment. And I do think that anecdotal evidence is still very powerful evidence. I know a lot of people dismiss it because sometimes people aren't the best witnesses due to, being adrenalized and excited and scared and terrified or whatever. You may missee things, but some of the details people post I find incredibly insightful. And given that this is a subject we know nothing about, all we have as far as behavioral models is what people have seen. So I think these are very powerful and shouldn't be discounted or just dismissed. While they may not offer tangible evidence that you can, test and observe, they do offer you their insights. And I think that that's very valuable, especially cumulatively when you can look at several people's reports and find those commonalities that they're witnessing. And so it gives you an idea of what's going on with this being. So I find these stories incredible. So this one is from, and special thanks to Wes. Thank you for letting me use this. Use your site. That's amazing. This one's from May 30th. So just a couple days ago. Huge, dark, hairy figure walk across the highway. A listener writes, I was born in Winnipeg and now live in Toronto, Ontario with my husband and daughter. My family and I have had some strange encounters. My father was a hunter all his life. His family was hunting and shot a bear, not aware that it had a cub, so my dad took the cub and raised it as long as he could, and when the cub grew too big, he gave it to the zoo in Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. Oh, that's cool. So my dad really knew what a bear looked like, and years later he drove from Winnipeg to Vancouver with his boss and his wife. While driving through the mountains, he saw a huge, dark, hairy figure walk across the highway. He knew it wasn't a bear, but he had never seen anything like it. Then years later, when some TV shows came out talking about Sasquatch, he knew that's what it was. In about 2015, my husband, daughter, and my friend and her daughter decided to go camping at Awenda Provincial Park. We got a great spot with lots of privacy and had a really big hill on the backside for our spot. We had a 4-person tent and my friend had a small camper. We went to bed and my husband woke me in the middle of the night because he had to go pee. it's honey, wake up. I have to pee. That's not what you want to get up for. When he came back in, I guess she just meant that he was moving around getting up. It's what woke her up. When he came back in, he said he had the feeling that he was being watched. Then all of a sudden, we heard something huge and heavy walking towards us. And it was screaming like a T-Rex. God, that's got to be horrible. We grab each other's hands, whispering, "Holy crap." I thought this T-Rex was going to trample our tent. It was so loud. Our daughter and friends slept through the whole thing, which I was like, who can sleep through that? The only animal I could think of that could be that big would be maybe a moose. So when I got home, I listened to moose and various other sounds, and I couldn't find anything close. I had a video game show up in my For You TikTok page, and it was two cops, and they had the same kind of sound in the background. Not sure if they actually recorded it or were just fooling around, but they thought it was a Bigfoot. I got chills. Then I listened to some of your episodes and heard people saying the same thing. Then I did a search of a Wenda Sasquatch, and guess what? There was a report of someone running into a Sasquatch on one of the trails in the park. I really don't know what else this could have been outside of our tent. I kind of want to go back now. Wow. That's crazy. Again, they didn't see it, but it's still got those incredibly powerful moments. That's terrifying. That's got to be terrifying. I mean, if you think about it, you're in a tent. That's basically a t-shirt stretched over a frame. There's not much to a tent, and it's not going to give you any protection whatsoever from anything that wants to get in. You are absolutely at and then you're blind as well. You don't know exactly where it is, or, I don't know. That's very humbling. I think I'd like to camp in like a Brinks truck, maybe. So that's a great story. Again, a quick little blurb, but it does give you that same kind of thread of that we've heard hundreds or thousands of times on the show. This thing storming through the woods and screaming. All right, here we go again from May 30th. I see this tall creature. A listener writes, I emailed you about 2 years ago regarding the footprints my uncle and I found. Oh, how the hell do you say that? Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania. I don't know how to say that. I'm brutalizing it. My apologies to any Pennsylvanians out there listening to the sound of my voice. Well, after taking some time to think about my own sighting and some other encounters and stories told to me by my family, friends, and coworkers, I've decided to finally type up an email. My sighting in April of 2014, I was in the last few months of high school and had been working at a nursing home in Pottsville, Pennsylvania in the kitchen. My mother at the time was the supervisor of the place, and I was getting a ride home with her after working from 0700 to 1500 hours. What the hell's 1500? Is that like 5 p.m.? 3? I don't know, 3 hours? 3 o'clock? I guess 3. Maybe, yeah, I think it's 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We were driving towards my hometown, which is only about 4 miles from this sighting.
Hand.
Hand? It says hand. Now, if something about a hand comes up in this story, I'll be like, whoa. But I don't know what the hell hand means right now. I was in the passenger seat looking out the window towards the river. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that again. And railroad tracks that run along the same route. The train tracks are about 75 yards from the road on a 45-degree angle. The leaves were not on the trees yet because it was right before spring, so I can see the tracks pretty good. Next thing, I see this tall and lengthy creature. It almost had the look of Treebeard from the Lord of the Rings movie. Very tall, long, thin appendages, and I could see dark brown/black hair. This creature was standing on the side of the railroad closest to me, looking down at the ground, and not sure why, but it was so eerie and I just didn't register in my head until we got home. I told my mom, and she really didn't react. Totally didn't think it could be a Sasquatch until you described the different types. The different types. Yeah, there are a lot of physical variances that people do report, and sometimes they are not these big hulking figures, but they're these rather gaunt and thin, huge figures. So that's an interesting take. So story number 1 is Cressona, Pennsylvania. So this story I was told was from my dad. He is a retired police chief and his former officer told him about this encounter. This goes back to the mid-1980s, and the encounter was a few miles away from mine, which made the hair stand up on my arms. It was during the winter time, and they were sledding down a hill next to a wooded area, and he was in a group of 8 or 9 kids, middle school age. About 45 minutes after continuously sledding down this hill, this witness, the former officer, looked behind the group of kids and saw a shape that wasn't there before. It was in the tree line. He said it looked like a huge football player with shoulder pads on and large brown fur coat. He said that whatever it was standing there for some time because the snow had accumulated on the shoulders and head. The creature then turned away from them and didn't take his eyes off the kids until it disappeared into the thick brush. Yeah, that's creepy. I mean, just watching kids. And it's mostly because you just don't know what it's thinking. Like, is that an hors d'oeuvre or is that a kid at that point? Oh, Maggie, you remembered. Oh, thank you. Thank you. So yeah, I mean, it's pretty concerning that they sit and watch kids, but I think it's probably innocent enough, but you can't help but wonder because there's lots of First Nation stories of these things raiding villages and taking kids away never to be seen again. And I don't think you can dismiss those things either. So you'd like to think, oh, it's just watching what we're doing. And maybe that's it. But what if it's more than that? What if it's picking out the prime cut? There goes a steak. I don't know. So here's story 2, 3, and 4 of this thread, and it says, I've been working in the Pennsylvania Department of Corrections for 5 years now. 4 years as a corrections officer and just over a year as a corrections counselor. I get to talk to so many people daily, staff and inmates, and I have 2 stories from staff and 1 from an inmate. The first one is a road crossing sighting. She was driving to work in the morning, so around 6:30 to 7 a.m., and this is about 2 miles from work. She stated that there was a Tahoe driving towards her, and whatever this was crossed the road in 3 steps and was gone in the nearby woodline. The best description she gave was that it was a foot taller than the Tahoe. My wife owns a Tahoe, which would mean that the creature was around 7.5 feet tall. Since that encounter, she's completely fascinated with the subject, and I made sure to tell her about your show and website. Aw, thank you, Miss Firejack. Awesome. Thank you. The next story is from another coworker, and he's a big hunter, as am I. He was walking into his stand in archery season last year around 3 p.m. in the afternoon. He was 30 yards from his tree stand and was walking through a scrub patch, an area where the trees were logged and is now covered in 3-foot tall trees. And he saw a dark figure out of the corner of his eye. Of course, being in Pennsylvania, he's thinking, there's a black bear standing up to check me out. However, when he looks over to see this, it's in the shape of a large humanoid. And let me tell you, this guy is a no BS kind of guy. It actually scares me when he stated that he saw this thing and took off running into his truck and went home. The description he gave me was that the dark figure was about 8 feet tall because it was 5 feet above the shrub line and hairy. I don't see any black bear being that tall around here or anywhere. They just don't get that big. The final story was from work is the cow story. That's what I call it. So this happened in the early 2000s. This is near Hamburg and Kempton, Pennsylvania. So this guy at the time found this line of footprints walking down toward a farm. Whatever made the prints climbed over the fence and went into the cow pasture. He and his mom were talking to the farmer, and he told them that he was missing a cow. But there were no holes in the fence line. So they went back to where they found the prints, and sure enough, there were tracks coming back from the fence line and walked back towards the woods. They followed the tracks until they got to a railroad and found the dairy cow dead on the side of, it says the slit of the tracks, closest to them. Its neck was broken, the guts were ripped out, and the stomach and the tongue was gone. It was only dead overnight, so it was basically a fresh kill. If that dairy cow was somehow killed by whatever made the prints, then that thing had to have had enough strength to pick up that cow and somehow step over that fence with it just unimaginable to me. Just think about how strong this thing could be. I also want to mention that this one happened literally a mile from the Appalachian Trail and about 7 miles from where I found the footprints I sent you. If you want to hear some of the other stories regarding my hunting club property in upstate Pennsylvania, let me know. Sorry for the long email, but I had to get this out to someone. Thanks for all you do, Wes. Hope to hear back and see what you think. Yeah, it's fantastic stories. I mean, a lot of them are second or third hand, but still, those are still valid, right? So I think that's fascinating. God, it's 8:45. I'm going to have to find something quick to read here for the last 15 minutes roughly, or 10 minutes, and then me flapping my lips for a while. But yeah, thank you to Wes again for letting us use that site. That's really, really cool. I just got to figure out where I am here. Not that one. I think I might close that one, but let's go to the next. Oh, this one's one I wanted to read you. This is from Phantoms and Monsters, ladies and gentlemen. Again, Lon Strickler's site, fascinating site as well, so check it out. Check out Lon's Phantoms and Monsters Radio on YouTube. You can check out his channel where he does live streams as well. So, U.S. Army tunnel rat described the wild men of the Vietnam jungle. And these wild men, the stories of them over there, there isn't a ton of them, but there's several. There's a lot of stuff happening over in Vietnam. Sorry. Let me do this. Okay, let's shut that off. I already showed that once. So let's check out this one. The Wild Men of Vietnam. The reader's great uncle, who served in the U.S. Army in Vietnam, told him about the rock ape and other strange anomalies in the jungle, including goblins or elf-like beings. I mean, my God, just think of what could be out there, not only across the world in some jungle, but, in our own backyards. We still get all these weird, unusual sightings, of all these strange things. It says, I've received the following information. Hello, Lon. I wanted to write for a while. I thought that you'd find this interesting. One of my great uncles was a tunnel rat in the U.S. Army during the Vietnam War. His job was going into the tunnels after they'd been cleared and setting demolition charges. So if the VK retook the area, they couldn't reuse the tunnels. Most folks who've been there will tell you it's one of the most dangerous jobs you could do. Yeah, there's no question. Those guys would go in with just a handgun and a lot of good intentions, and sometimes wouldn't come back out. There's a lot of booby trap tunnels they went into as well. But they were brave as hell. He told me stories about the wild men in the jungles. They would be in the tunnels too, and the VK knew of them and took many steps to avoid them and warn each other when they were around. The VK, or Viet Cong, of course, used different variety of warning systems and booby traps. The Corps would then have to find them and dismantle them before demolition. And he said they would find them in areas that went deeper into the caves, where they knew there wasn't a close, logical exit or entry point. So they clearly were afraid and cautious of something other than the opposing military forces getting the drop on them. Some of these deeper cave systems were set up like native camps and things constructed from natural materials. Clearly not military. It makes you wonder if the VK took these areas over from the rock apes and expanded them for the military in some places. All I clearly recall of this particular story is him talking about native camps and wild men. And again, these were places where the VK were cleared out, and it was the Corps' job to dismantle, destroy, and reappropriate military infrastructure. Besides the tunnels, he talked a lot of stranger, weirder things that he'd seen, beside his group being followed around by these unseen wild men. These villagers would talk about these goblin or elf-like creatures. There's a name for them in Vietnamese, but I can't recall what it is, that live near the rivers. Also, they would see strange lights and things moving across the rice fields and through the jungles while out on patrol. Just strange and supernatural paranormal things. He never talked about actual war and fighting. He stayed pretty stoic about those things, but he loved talking about the other stuff. He wasn't prone to wild stories or exaggeration tales. It just really matter of fact, this weird stuff happened. And how there's a lot in this world that we don't understand. He died a few years back, but he instilled in me a love for the weird and supernatural that inspired me. That's cool. I'm glad he shared the stories. That's kind of the biggest tragedy, is that you just think of all of these people have experienced. I mean, just think of the number of stories that are out there now that you will never hear. We'll never hear what people saw or experienced or any of that stuff. So that's fascinating. In the, what? Yeah, I did. Yeah, her message? I didn't, what are you talking about, Sheldon? Let me scroll up here. Misfire says, member for 6 months, level Portal Peeps. Oh, Brent, there's a Kecksburg video you can play. Where is this? Where's the Kecksburg video? I'm sorry, I did miss that part of it. You have to let me know. I don't know where that is. I got to do this. Hold on. See what else I've missed. Okay, Sheldon. Oh, okay. No music, no copyright if you need. Let's check this out. I'm going to check it out. We're going to go back to Sasquatch Chronicles blog for a second. No, I'm good, but thank you. Wes, you crack me up. All right. Let me refresh this. I haven't refreshed it for a while. Boom, boom. Okay, here we go. This is a video, actually, that Wes just posted. The Kecksburg UFO incident occurred on December 9th, 1965 at Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, United States, when a fireball was reported by citizens of 6 U.S. states and Canada over Detroit, Michigan, and Windsor, Ontario. Astronomers said it was likely to have been a meteor bolide burning up in the atmospheres and descending at a steep angle. Let's check this out. Or was it? Okay, so astronomers said it was likely to have been a meteor bolide at a steep angle. NASA released a statement in 2005 reporting that experts had examined fragments from the area and determined they were from a Soviet satellite, but that records of their findings were lost in 1987. Of course they were. Yeah. NASA responded to court orders and Freedom of Information Act requests to search for the records. The incident gained wide notoriety in popular culture and ufology, with speculation ranging from extraterrestrial craft to debris from the Soviet space probe, Cosmos 96, and is often called Pennsylvania's Roswell. Oh, well, let's check out this video, folks. Let's make it big.
Apparently, the night of December the 9th, 1965, something crashed outside of Kecksburg, Pennsylvania, and the witnesses said it had hieroglyphics around it, and that soon the place was overrun with a flatbed truck with a crane, and they tarped it, put it on this big flatbed trailer, and all these guys in suits and all these military uniforms that that they'd never seen before. I think they were like, they couldn't tell whether they were Army, Navy, or what. But they were all there, and they told everybody, you didn't see anything, get out of here. Well, that thing, they hauled it off, and then some truck driver outside the south gate of Wright-Patterson Air Force Base saw that convoy going through the south gate early in the morning, maybe about dawn or so, 6 o'clock in the morning. And, you know, they just had to drive over there, Pennsylvania to Ohio. It's not that stretch, not that big a stretch, but I remember what happened that night. My dad gets this, the phone starts ringing like about midnight, and I sit up. My dad walks by the door going down the hall to the phone that's in the kitchen. I hear him. He's going, yeah. And Mom gets up. She goes running after him. He goes, yeah. When? Okay. And he hung up, you know. And So he's walking back by, and I said, "Is Grandpa okay?" Because my grandparents, his folks, lived in San Antonio. And he said, "No, they're just fine." He says, "I just have to fly out in the morning." I said, "Oh, okay." So me and Mom got up early, drove him out to the tarmac out at the Air Force Base. He got in this little plane that he always flew in, and he took off. And I think that was a Friday morning, maybe. And he came back Monday, and he looked a little grayer around the temples. And he looked like he'd been through some shit, really, kind of. And so that night I went into his bedroom. He was hunkered over his desk looking at his yellow tablet, and it had all these hieroglyphics on it. I was like, "Wow, what's that say, Dad?" And he goes, "Says eat at Joe's." And we both laughed, and I went to bed. He chuckled. And it all makes sense. He had to go to Wright-Patterson, and he saw the hieroglyphics, and he was trying to break it. He was a senior master cryptologist designated by the National Security Agency. I've still got the certificate in here.
Wow.
And he also got a nice, great big plaque from the Department of the Air Force.
Wow. That's going to be an epic show. That'll be great. When is that coming out? Let's see. Does it say? It says upcoming show. Okay, upcoming guest, Kecksburg UFO. That's great, man. I can't wait to hear that one in length. Fascinating. There's so much going on we don't know, folks. I mean, we are so much in the dark about so many things. It's a good thing we're looking for answers for ourselves, because if we were waiting to be spoon-fed answers by the powers that be, we would be starving. We'd be starving for sure. So, very interesting. But it's also interesting that the whole show has slid by. Goes quickly. Right here in the portal. This is a time anomaly. Richard Dolan did a great deep dive into the Kecksburg event. Pretty fascinating. Okay. I didn't know that, but I actually don't know anything about this event, so I've just learned what that video showed. It sounds absolutely fascinating. Aw, thank you, Annie. I appreciate that. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate that as well. It's not $1 anymore. It's $1.25. Oh, the dollar store, yeah. We were noticing that too. It's the $1.25 store now. What the hell is happening? This economy, I tell you what. I'm going to have to sell a kidney before I fill my car again. Jesus. Ay, ay, ay. All right, well, that's going to wrap it up for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here, and thanks for stopping in, Wes. It's good to see you, brother. Nice to know you're out there, and hope everything's wonderful. And remember to say a quick prayer for our very own Deb Varner, that she bounces back fast. And remember that Wednesday's show should go on as scheduled, of course, but do not plan on live shows next Friday and Saturday because of good God, I closed it. Because of the Bigfoot Town Hall that's happening next Saturday in Kalispell, Montana. You can meet Don and I over there. You come over and hang out, stop in, say hi, and I'm going to be doing a presentation. In fact, some of what I'm going to talk about is actually the value of those anecdotal evidences, because I think they're very valuable, and I think people dismiss them way too readily. But I think they do have the opportunity to offer us insight. So in many ways, what I'm going to present is things that you guys have heard me say a bunch of times here on the show, but I hope that some of you can make it. If not, then I hope that I think Bigfoot Today is going to record the event, so perhaps you can watch a stream of it after the fact. At some point on YouTube, I will announce whenever that goes up, so you can see it in its entirety and what happened over there. And hopefully it's all good. I don't know. I'm going to be emceeing the event as well as presenting quick, just not a big presentation, just a bit of a presentation. So, but anyway, that's what's going on next Friday, Saturday. I won't be in the studio, so there's no live stream scheduled. I will live stream from the event when I can, depending on the Wi-Fi and stuff, but I think that should be able to happen without a problem. So watch. If you're not already getting notifications and you're subscribed, just hit the bell so you get notified when I do go live. Otherwise, keep an eye on social media, Facebook. I'll announce there if I'm going to go live and let you know in real time as much as I can prior to going live, so I can show you the event in person. So anyway, that's going to wrap it up for tonight. I hope you guys have a great rest of your weekend. Remember, there's no new podcast coming out for this week or next week. Taking a couple of weeks off before we start season 6. I need a breather. I need a break. Have to take a break for a couple weeks anyway. But I will tell you that for season 6, there's some great interviews coming up. I'm kind of excited about. Well, no, I'm a lot excited about all of them, but there's some very recognizable names coming up, and it'll be fun. So hopefully they turn out as well as I'm hoping. But anyway, that's going to wrap it up for me. Have a great rest of your weekend, everybody. Make sure you enjoy it. Do something fun. Spoil yourself a little bit. Have a good time. And that's gonna be it. That's all I got. I'm all out of ideas. So remember, I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. And if you missed the show this next weekend and you're just dying for some Paranormal Portal, remember, if you check out YouTube, there's literally about 1,400 episodes over there, like 1,400 episodes on YouTube that you can check out, different varying lengths through the years of doing this show since 2017. I've accumulated quite a catalog, so there's lots of historical programs of Don and I doing it and me doing it, and lots of smaller programs that I put together called I did call it Bedtime Stories from Beyond, but then I called it Night Terrors later for varying reasons. Don't want to get into all that, but that's always available. And if you're a podcast listener, make sure to check out the archives. There's, I think, about 300 episodes now of our podcast out there, so you can check those out, keep you company until we return with new live shows, or newer shows anyway. So remember, love you all, be good, be kind, be nice, take care of each other, help each other out, find the magic in every day, and remember to laugh as much as you can. Take care, everybody. Love you all, mean it, and I'll talk to you on Wednesday. So see you then.